Breaking news today. Federal agents raided a California cannabis farm, arresting nearly 200 individuals suspected of being illegal immigrants amid violent resistance, including gunfire. Why are some politicians defending chaos instead of law and order?
Hello, and welcome to That News Show, where we discuss the latest facts, fakes, and hypocrisy as reported by the legacy media. Let's roll the tape.
Fox News reports serious charges following the Camarillo ICE raid. Federal agents, simply following congressional directives, raided a California cannabis facility and faced not only protests but also violent responses, including gunfire. Is the real issue here justice, or is it power? Tonight, we explore the topics the mainstream media often ignores, the true implications of open borders, and the risky stance California's leaders are taking on American sovereignty. It raises the question, when did law enforcement become a point of contention in the United States? Love the clip.
They are doing everything they can to encourage the public to openly, and yes, in some cases violently, resist our agents. And this is the reason the president sent the military. Be very clear about that. The military is here to protect our agents and our property so we can continue these operations, and we will not stop. We've arrested dozens of people already for assaulting. We're going to do more, and if we get our hands on the guy who fired that gun, he can expect to face some really serious charges here in the federal government.
The current pushback is not about a single raid or state. It's about defending the concept of a nation defined by borders, laws, and a government accountable to its citizens. The violent resistance against our agents, often supported by local officials and activist groups, poses a direct challenge to the rule of law and community safety. This issue extends beyond immigration. It's about the United States' resolve to defend its borders and enforce the laws established by Congress. The deployment of the military to support federal agents is both justified and necessary, given the real threats they face. For instance, firing at federal officers is not a form of protest, but a federal crime that must be prosecuted fully. The involvement of minors in state-licensed facilities is alarming. In places like California, Democratic politicians are not just obstructing federal law, they are facilitating criminal activity and, in some cases, child exploitation. The arrest of dozens for assaulting agents is just the start. Attacking law enforcement will have serious consequences. Rather than cooperating to eliminate this abuse, these officials criticize federal agents for performing their duties. Federal agents in the military are stepping up to enforce laws and protect American sovereignty, a task many politicians have long avoided. Contrast this with the previous administration, which weakened border security, restricted ICE, and promoted sanctuary policies that jeopardized American citizens. Breaking our laws will lead to significant consequences, especially for those who resort to violence. Now, with robust operations and military support, the message is unequivocal. American sovereignty is non-negotiable. It's clear why the public is frustrated and demanding decisive action. This shift represents the federal government taking the concerns of ordinary Americans seriously.
Operations. Here's what Tom Homan said about that pending ruling today. Listen here.
If this judge make a decision that's against what these officers are trained, what the law is based upon, then they're going to shut down operation. I think that's your end game. They want ICE to stop doing it.
The divide is clear. On one side are federal agents in the military, enforcing laws enacted by Congress. We've seen the situation escalate already. Protesters in Camarillo didn't just chant slogans, they blocked roads, threw projectiles, and even fired at federal agents. In California and nationwide, it's evident that some activist judges and local officials are not just opposing federal immigration enforcement, they are actively working to undermine it. This issue extends beyond a single raid or court case. It's about whether the United States will remain a sovereign nation with enforceable borders or yield to activist judges and globalist politicians who prioritize special interests over the American people. The discovery of minors working in these conditions, coupled with state officials' focus on attacking law enforcement rather than addressing the abuse, should outrage anyone who values the rule of law and child safety. Republicans in Congress in the current administration are resolute, opposing amnesty and resisting coordinated efforts to undermine law enforcement. Should the upcoming court ruling defy the law and the training received by officers, it could lead to a shutdown of critical ICE operations, which seems to be the exact outcome desired by the far left and their allies. This isn't just reckless, it's dangerous. In states like California, the Democratic Party has shown a willingness to defy federal law and even overlook child labor exploitation to gain political advantage. Stopping ICE operations would dangerously signal that violent resistance, obstruction, and political pressure can overpower the rule of law. On the other are local politicians and activist groups who prefer dismantling ICE and erasing borders, pursuing an open borders, globalist agenda that prioritizes the interests of illegal immigrants and corporate donors over American citizens. This moment is crucial for our country. The real solution lies not in rewarding lawbreaking, but in reforming the system to prioritize the interests of American workers and families. That's another interesting spin by the news media. We continue to face resistance from liberal groups who place ideology above the rule of law. We're at a crossroads. Will we pursue policies of open borders and globalist agendas, or will we uphold American values and protect our workers? As we reflect on the state of our nation, the divide between those who uphold our laws and those who seek to undermine them has never been more apparent. Be sure to comment below while dropping a like and subscribing. Until next time.